Deep in the cornfields of Illinois lies a place most people dare not mention after sunset: the Ashmore Estates Prison. A hulking brick fortress with barred windows like hollow, soulless eyes, stands as a chilling reminder of pain, despair, and terror that never truly left. To the casual passer-by, it might just look like another abandoned building, covered in graffiti and slowly surrendering to time. But for those who know its story, Ashmore Prison is more than ruins. It's a place where screams from 1981 still echo through the halls, carried by something far darker than memory. The story of Ashmore began innocently enough in the early 1900s, not as a prison, but as a poor farm where the elderly, mentally ill, and impoverished were housed. Over the years, countless forgotten souls passed through its doors, many never leaving. By the 1950s, it had transformed into a mental health facility, and in the 1970s, it took on a new role: a small correctional facility meant to house dangerous criminals who had nowhere else to go. But this shift marked the beginning of a nightmare. By 1981, Ashmore Prison had developed a reputation among inmates and guards alike as the Screaming House. Strange events plagued the building: cell doors rattling violently when no one was inside, whispers slithering through the air vents, and sudden drops in temperature that left guards shivering in the middle of July. One inmate described nights when the shadows on the walls moved, even when no one was walking. Another claimed he saw a man without eyes pacing outside his cell. These accounts were dismissed by officials, written off as paranoia or stress. But what happened in the summer of 1981 could not be explained away. It began with a prisoner named Michael Kearns. A 29-year-old convicted for armed robbery, Michael wasn't the type to scare easily. Yet on June 3, 1981, fellow inmates reported hearing him screaming violently from his cell in the middle of the night. Guards rushed to his aid, only to find him pressed against the far corner, trembling and insisting that a woman in white had crawled through the bars. His cellmate swore he saw the figure too, hovering at the end of the corridor before vanishing into thin air. Over the next few weeks, reports multiplied. Inmates complained of hearing cries in the showers, whispers calling their names, and footsteps trailing them when no one was there. Guards refused to patrol the West Wing at night, claiming the lights would flicker and the air became so thick it felt like drowning. Then, on July 19, 1981, came the event that cemented Ashmore's legacy as one of America's most haunted prisons. An electrical failure plunged the facility into complete darkness. Within minutes, guards reported hearing screams from multiple blocks, though none of the inmates admitted to making them. Some claimed they saw shadowy figures running through the corridors, while others said doors slammed shut with such force the iron bent. When power was restored hours later, Michael Kearns was found dead in his cell, but not in any ordinary way. His body was twisted unnaturally, as if every bone had been broken at once. No weapon was found, no signs of a fight, and his cellmate swore he had been asleep the entire time. The autopsy report baffled doctors. There was no logical explanation for his injuries. The official record listed the cause of death as severe internal trauma, but even the coroner admitted privately that it looked as though something crushed him from the inside out. After Kearns' death, the prison's atmosphere shifted from uneasy to unbearable. Guards resigned in droves, inmates begged to be transferred, and even maintenance workers refused to enter certain areas. Stories of a woman in white became more frequent, always described the same way: long matted hair, hollow eyes, and a mouth stretched too wide as if frozen in a scream. Witnesses swore she appeared in the West Wing, drifting silently, only to vanish when confronted. By the end of 1981, Ashmore Prison shut down entirely. The official reason given was budget cuts and declining inmate population. But those who lived through it knew better. Something in that building was wrong, and nobody wanted to stay long enough to test its patience again. Over the years, urban explorers, thrill seekers, and paranormal investigators flocked to Ashmore, each hoping to capture proof of what happened in 1981. Many came back with chilling evidence. EVPs recorded disembodied voices crying for help, cameras caught shadow figures darting through the halls, Visitors reported being scratched, shoved, or having their hair pulled by invisible hands. Some even claimed to hear blood-curdling screams echoing at night, screams eerily similar to those that shook the prison 4 decades ago. One investigator in 2006 described standing in the West Wing when his camera suddenly shut off. Moments later, he heard a woman whisper directly into his ear, though no one was there. Another group reported seeing a cell door slam shut so hard it cracked the wall, even though the hinges had long rusted away. And almost every visitor to the prison agrees on one thing: the West Wing feels alive, like it's watching, waiting. The haunting of Ashmore isn't just about spirits of the inmates who died there. Many believe the land itself carries a curse. Long before the prison, Native American tribes warned that the area was a place of shadows. Some claim the suffering of the poorhouse residents and asylum patients left behind an imprint, a kind of psychic scar that grew darker with each tragedy. Others argue something malevolent was always there, feeding on pain, drawing power from fear. Whether it's the restless souls of the forgotten or something far older, one truth remains: the screams of 1981 never faded. Visitors to Ashmore today still report hearing them echoing faintly through the crumbling halls. They say the woman in white walks at midnight, drifting past the cells, her hollow eyes searching for another victim. And if you listen closely, they claim, you can hear Michael Kearns' final, desperate cry. So what is Ashmore Prison now? A decaying shell of its former self, yes, but also a monument to the kind of terror that can't be explained away by science or reason. A place where the line between history and horror blurs, and where the past refuses to stay buried. The next time you find yourself near the quiet town of Ashmore, Illinois, remember this: behind those rusted gates lies a place where the living and the dead still share the same space. Share this video with your friends and subscribe for more terrifying true tales that will keep you awake at night.